are we now almost inexorably heading into a trade war, and one which may well have no winners ultimately?
Well, I would say as of today, we are not in a trade war, but I think the danger is certainly escalating. The application of the steel and aluminum tariffs onto the European Union and Canada and Mexico is certainly a very significant escalation, and we're certain that those trading partners will retaliate. At that point, the question becomes, will the U.S. administration retaliate against that retaliation?
And what's your view on that? Will they?
Well, I'd have to say that the current administration is arguably the most unpredictable administration in modern American history. So anyone who makes prognostications does so at their own risk. I would, however, point to a couple of scenarios. There is some speculation that at the end of the day, this might actually be a negotiating tactic. And in fact, Secretary Ross made the comment to the effect that the reason the tariffs had to go into place on Canada and Mexico was because there was insufficient progress in renegotiating NAFTA. So it remains to be seen, but that might actually be the end game here.
Well, absolutely. And if you do impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico, this is just an aside, aren't you in effect killing NAFTA itself and all the spirit behind NAFTA too?
It could very well be the outcome. And then the other thing to keep in mind is that in cases like these tariffs are very frequently counterproductive because they have the impact of raising costs to consumers and perhaps equally importantly, raising the cost of inputs, which damages the global competitiveness of American companies because, of course, we live in a global supply chain economy.
Well, true enough. And the thing is, I think you make a very valid point in your notes that trade balances are not a scorecard as to who is winning on trade or in trade.
This, I think, is one of the most concerning aspects of Secretary Ross's weekend visit to Beijing. The primary objective seemed to be to somehow negotiate down the size of the U.S. trade deficit with China. Doing so, unless the United States addresses its imbalance between savings and investment, would in all probability simply transfer that trade deficit from China to other countries, and it would also get us dangerously close to the territory of managed trade. Trade negotiation should be about removing restrictions to cross-border access. It shouldn't be about arbitrarily divvying up slices of market share.